guys, good morning. It's Cecilia, aka ForRealCeil, what 90 days can do, and MLS. Hey, it is Friday. Yes, and it is a bit frigid out here for me. OMG, I don't like it. See the sweater, right? But yeah, it's cold. So guys, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the infinite banking concept. If you haven't watched Becoming Your Own Banker, there's a video by Nelson Nash. He coined and termed whole life policies, which are properly blended in order to enrich you and enable you to utilize the funds, the cash value of your policies, to generate cash flow for yourself and still earn basically interest, a dividend. And the difference between the dividend and interest really basically is the guarantee is there. Whereas, it's sometimes when you're in the market or you have funds in like a traditional, most places that offer a dividend are based off of the market, but there are very few that guarantee you a certain minimum dividend or rate of return on your capital that you have there. But there is one company that has done so for over, I believe, over 2 decades and going, that they are guaranteed a minimum 4% dividend on your capital, which is your cash value of your policy, and then up to 12% depending on the market. All right, that's huge. Can you imagine having a policy, not only having a substantial size final expense policy, because we're brainwashed into getting a big death policy, when all you really need for a death benefit is what you need for your final expense. Why pay a whole bunch of money for a final expense policy when you could pay the minimum towards a final expense policy, have the money that you need, all the money that you need in order to leave loved ones something and to take care of your expenses, but you can still have cash value in a policy and leave that real money, funds that you can utilize, funds that you can actually borrow from and replace and replenish and grow for years and years to come. This is something that is huge. Why wouldn't somebody want something like this? So when I look at this and I see what this guy is sharing with the world and has given information about worldwide, because he traveled the world before he passed away. He traveled many places and talked about infinite banking and the concept of it and how it can enrich lives, and telling people, sharing this great thing, and many still don't get it. Hey, if you want to learn about how to utilize a whole life policy to your advantage, how to have cash flow whenever you need it, how to become your own banker, we know how. We have it inside of our club, and it is a very powerful concept. I love it. And these are tips of the wealthy that they don't share. People have been doing this for quite some time, and if you don't know, you don't know. And that's why it takes people, you get to, help to, and you bring to, help to. I'm sharing this information. I could show you how it's done. I could introduce you to a person who can properly blend a policy that you will enjoy having access to for the rest of your life, and not only will you enjoy having access to for the rest of your life, but anyone that you want to be held in trust for, you can have this for generations, and you can set it up to when you pass and you when you're gone, you can leave it in trust. You could manipulate it so, hey, okay, each one of your children or whoever you want to leave it to gets $50,000 cash or $100,000 cash, and the rest has to remain in there, and then they have to keep the MEC limit up for a period of 2 years, or open their own policies to generate wealth, and then they can have the rest, or leave that one for the family business and they need to open up their own policy, let's say with half of what you leave them, or whatever the case may be, because what you want to do is train your family into getting that wealth. Train them how to become their own banker. Let them know that it's very possible to have money and not have to go and step foot inside an institution where they are charging you high interest rates to borrow money, sometimes declining you a loan because of whatever reasons they choose, and you can just become your own banker and avoid the headache, avoid the hassle. And this is amazing because not only if you're doing it right and if you're following the laws regarding the MEC limits and what have you, it's a non-taxable event. So that means you can generate cash flow on your own, utilize it, and get dividends, and it's non-taxable to you. It's an insurance policy. 1. 2, it's protected from anyone taking it from you. Why? Because even if you're in debt, if you owe money to somewhere, they can touch a lot of things. They can take your pay from a traditional job, they can garnish your pay, but they cannot take your life insurance policy, nor can they take the cash value of your policy. They cannot take that, just like they can't take your 401k. So that's something to know. 2, you can again grow it every year based on your MEC limit. So each year you have a maximum amount that you can throw into the policy, and mind you, it's always a dividend attached to that at the year of your policy anniversary. And not only is that the case, again, when you take money from it, you're not getting a distribution, you're taking it out in the form of a loan. You're borrowing money from your own cash value. That amount is deducted only from the final expense benefit until you replenish that amount, and all the while still gaining interest. And when you pay yourself back, you're paying your policy back with interest. Come on now. If you don't get it and you don't see the big picture and you don't have one, and you've been complaining about not having wealth, not attaining wealth, not being able to do things, start small. You can get a policy, a $5,000 policy. I think the minimum one you can get is $1,000, where you can put in $10,000 annually into the policy, something like that. But that's a start. You gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere. And what would it do for you if every single year you could save $10,000 and get a dividend on it, and at any given moment, without talking to one person at all, borrow from your cash value of your policy and pay an expense, pay something that you owe, or go on a trip, or do whatever it is, without speaking to a person? You put your information in the computer, and days later you have the money right in your account. And when you're ready to pay it back, that's when you pay it back. And when you do pay yourself back, you pay yourself back with interest. How powerful is that? Start small, build it up. When you get another policy, make it a bigger policy. Do that until you can do something bigger. But you have to start somewhere. Everybody has a starting point. Some people are able to do more. Others, they got to start small, and that's fine. But the key is starting. There are so many things that I wanted to get into that my capital just wasn't ready for. My mindset is there, but the funding just is not there. This is a way for me to reach that funding level. I want to do venture capitalists. I want to do joint ventures and invest and have passive income. But I'm finding that you have to be an accredited lender in most cases. You have to have $200,000 already establishing your business for over a period of 2 years and other things of that nature, where I just don't have it yet. I'm not ready for that, but I will be. And that is something to look forward to greatly, because I want to invest in property and have it, hold it long term, and have management companies and like going forward. You know, it's a very powerful thing, and that's not the only passive income that's out here. There are so many ventures that people are unaware of, that we are sleeping on, and if we combine money and pool money together, we can actually do this. And as a matter of fact, I need to have a conversation. We need to bring this to the table, because I just found out about another passive income method, another venture, and it requires $50,000 minimum. Right now, I'm not trying to dump $50,000 into anything by myself. So if you have a group of 5 people who want to do $10,000 at a 15% return on your investment for a 6-month time frame, hit me up. If you're serious, all I need is 5 people. If you want to do 10 people, we can do 10 and do 5,000 a piece. It's big. It is big. The thing is, if we do a group venture, then we would have to form a LLC or establish a corporation, because of course nobody's gonna want to be making out 5 and 10 checks to different people. We do it as one group. We get our check and we divide our money back the same way that we paid it in, except with the interest applied, and keep doing that over and over again until we gain enough that we can branch out and do these ventures alone, and that's fine. But we have to start somewhere, and teaming up is the way to do it. I've watched people establish businesses, open stores, have franchises, and they only hire their own nationality or their own, religion or what have you, and that's fine. And they make businesses happen. They make things work because they join together, and they know the power of numbers. They know that if you have 3 or 4 or 5 people pulled together and y'all all doing the same thing, that you're going to be able to make it. And that's the problem with some of us, and I say people of color, people who are scared to step out or have that scarcity mindset and don't want to venture out and grow, that we are susceptible to be staying broke. Why? Because we don't have that concept. We don't think outside the box. We don't trust anything. You know what I'm saying? There are things that you need to learn and that you can do to change your lifestyle, to change your outcome on life, period. To simply grow and become wealthy. But it takes effort, and it takes work, and it takes teamwork sometimes, and you got to be of that mindset. So I'm asking people, if you're thinking about doing something and you're really interested in becoming wealthy, or you want to step out something, I'm down to do some joint ventures. I have a few people that I know are willing and I know are interested in making money and becoming wealthy. I have other people that I know want to, but they are still in that scarcity mindset, or that I don't have or I can't get mindset. Step away from that. Learn to be a little more tenacious. You have to explore stuff. You will never change your outcome if you don't step out. You will never change your circumstance without action. It requires action, it requires change, and it requires educating yourself. Learn about finances, learn about numbers. Now I'm going to tell you, my math game is terrible. If I don't have a calculator, forget it. Like right now, I just be like, what? huh? And then there's laws to things. You got to learn law. You have to educate yourself or get with somebody who knows about these things and learn as much as you can, because doing stuff without knowing about it is very dangerous. That could get you in trouble. It could cause you a lot of grief down the line. So it is key that you educate yourself about stuff. Don't just take everybody's word for everything, but learn as much as you can. Google and YouTube are great, but they don't teach you everything. There are mentors and people who talk about business and finances and other things you can do, but pick up a book, read a magazine article, get into it, and really surround yourself with people who are into the things. So what you want and what you think about most of the time is what you are. So if you want to learn about being wealthy, hang out with wealthy people. You can't stick with the same people you've been dealing with all your life and do things differently if you're doing the same old thing. All right, you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy this beautiful fall weather, and I look forward to doing a lot of things in the future. I want to hear from some people who are down to do some joint ventures. Like, I'm moving, whether you're moving with me or not, and it might take me a lot longer this way, but I'm in it. I got skin in the game, and I'm in it to win it. So have a great weekend, guys. Bye bye.